And just to add, every single person or group and organization that said my surname's Rackley, yeah, I want you charged with stalking, harassment, intimidation, and bullying to start with, plus recklessly endangering one's health due to negligence of wrong diagnosis because you thought I was somebody else that I'm not. Rackley's mum's second husband and his son, Daniel Rackley, their behaviour projected onto me through medical health industry workers such as nurses and even doctors. This went for 11 years, where information that was solely related to the Rackley's issues was then projected onto me that I have it because I'm related to them. It's a DNA related issue. So, therefore, wrong diagnosis happened even from my own doctor, Dr. Baker at East Sydney Doctors. That's negligence. You might want to smarten the fuck up. St. Vincent's is also part of it. So, no, I'm not related to the Rackleys. I'm a Fleming. Completely different family. Okay, like I said, my mother's Carol Ann Purdy. Purdy's her maiden name. My father's Mark Ann Fleming. Okay, Fleming's his surname. His mother is Ruby Jean Hill. His father's Stanley Fleming. I've already given a really good enough description. I'm not related to Mark Rackley, the deadbeat nurse from the Freemason nursing home called Moonby House. My father's Mark Fleming, who's a builder. St. Vincent's Hospital kept saying in 2017, why do you believe this? We're going to give you... Okay. They force-fed me, St. Vincent's force-fed me medication to make me believe that Mark Fleming wasn't my father. That's what the guy said he was going to do. Pretty sick, isn't it? Because they had wrong information. In 2017, they wanted to know why I believed that my dad was a builder and why I thought my surname was Fleming. That's pretty sick, isn't it? That's St. Vincent's. That monstrosity organisation of St. Vincent's did that to me. Did it to me. Why do I believe my surname's Fleming? Because my surname is Fleming. Why do you believe it's Rackley? Because it's not Rackley. So obviously my mother did a scam when she came to Sydney. My dad, Mark Ian Fleming's a retired builder that lives on the Central Coast, Empire Bay. Last job that he was doing before he retired from building was the building of inside Westwood shopping complexes, but he's done a lot more than that. That's who my dad is. St. Vincent's, which really still, why do you believe you got a green card to America is what they said. So they've actually fucked up immigration for me. I've held a green card since 2014. St. Vincent's kept, they didn't believe it. You see? So even IBAC and other nurses and so forth, they didn't believe that I did because they thought they had information that was correct and I didn't. So then this is an international issue that involves immigration and the US. Why do you believe you've studied design is what the nurse said. Well, I have studied design. Design fundamentals in 1997, design events illustration certificate 4 where I received the credit for my design of wearable object in fashion design in 2009 and interior decoration design in 2010, all at TAFE College. Why do you believe I haven't? See? This went through a medical health industry that has dodged negligent charges and being sued. You're not going to. Okay, because I'm not going to stop. I mean, if everyone out there in society just let an organisation like that get away with it, what society do we live in? Because and I've got the notes here as well. What society are we going to live in where we're going to let people like that think they're above the law, like St. Vincent's and other organisations and nursing industries? Because they were given information that they thought was reliable that wasn't. See where I have to live now? Can you hear that? That's called a deadbeat junkie. Happy? That's what my mother put me through. So that scumbag, they should really put a neon light above them that says, hi, I'm a deadbeat druggo, probably a dirtbag Aboriginal that's been born and raised in Housing Commission, and my parents were low-life scumbags that were born and raised in Housing Commission, and my grandparents were low-life scumbags that were born and raised in Housing Commission, because that's all that they're saying. And that's exactly what these types of scumbag piece of shit people that live around are. So again, all the information, I've already said this as well, since 2015, through even social media, I've had people describe a really good description of Shane Child's upbringing. And I've said, well, I'm not Shane Child's. Okay. And for you to fit me into another description of someone else, it's he dyes his hair black. Well, that's utterly insane. I don't dye my hair black. It is naturally near jet black. Has been since I was a little kid. Okay. So for me to be fitted into a description that organisations had, it would have to be completely different features, completely different hair colour, completely different body type. I've never been fat. Completely different person. A completely different person. I'm not Shane Childs, nor am I Daniel Rackley. I'm not Darren Taylor, and I'm not Justin Pascoe. The descriptions that was projected onto me in the last 11 years since 2015 clearly matched descriptions relating to those people. Not only descriptions, it related to their upbringing, where they were raised, how they were raised, everything. There we go. So let's call it another deadbeat abo. This is where our taxpayers' dollars get wasted to. So it doesn't relate. Like, a good example of that, you've got Shane and Christy Childs' upbringing with their mother, Robin Childs, in Housing Commission, projected onto me. It's like, okay, I'm not Shane Childs. But clearly you must know Mum's deadbeat sister, Robin Childs, because you've described her upbringing in Housing Commission, her behaviour with her kids, and her brother, Denny Purdy, lived with her and raised, well, pretty much reared her son, Shane Childs. Used to take him fishing, hunting and shooting. He was always running off to the bush to Bathurst or somewhere, or Rockley. He used to collect reptiles and snakes. He was involved in wildlife. He used to go, what do you used to call it? Yabbying or something. Crawl bobbing. Crawl bobbing used to call it. So you've got a good description of Shane Childs. A really perfect description of Shane Childs. And you've put it onto me. It's like, but you're describing another person. That's not who I am. It's not my upbringing. Then, love this. To make it fit in even more, even though what you've got's incorrect. It's like, oh, he's had brain damage. He doesn't remember. No, I definitely remember. And I've actually backed myself up with photographs that you thought were someone else's children on social media. You're doing a scam. My mum's been doing this scam for years, but you are doing a scam. A head injury, like the injuries I've had aren't what people would think. Like, it's been exacerbated through terminology that is just bullshit. So sure, I've had injuries, but what has been made out to the complications of the injuries is complete false. It's bullshit, basically. It's complete bullshit. And I've already backed it all up. See that? Can you hear that through the speaker? That's a low-life drug user that lives in Housing Commission, that has entitlement because of these scummy shit organisations. This is what every day, these are the most pathetic pieces of scumbags of people that should be living on the fucking street. During COVID, these people should have been on the street getting COVID and dropping dead. Clean the fucking world from scummy shit people like this that have been born and raised in Housing Commission, that haven't worked, you know, that have nothing wrong with them except they're the victim of their own fucking problems. You know, deadbeat scum, and their parents were deadbeat scum. Unlike myself, that was mugged after work by deadbeat scum like this. So the description that so this went for immigration because, again, I'm not Daniel Rackley. Okay, Mark Rackley is bald. Daniel Rackley is pretty much bald. They're also red hair. So Daniel Rackley had that sort of like reddish brown hair, like that dirty sort of rusty hair colour. So does his father. He's got that sort of like, you know, brownish reddish hair. It's like that abo colour. The Rackleys. It's like that abo red. That abo dirty red. So dirty brown red. I'm not a Rackley. Okay. And both my grandfathers, Stanley Fleming and Reginald George Purdy, had jet black hair. Stanley Fleming actually had black, frizzy, almost untamable, curly type hair right up into the day he died. Very black, very Arabic looking man. Very ethnic looking man is my dad's father. That is photos of my dad's father on social media. Okay. So that dark olive skin man. Or if you knew me, then you would know that. So if you don't know that, then you don't know me. I mean, if you honestly can't pinpoint who my father is in a photo, if you can't sit there and say, oh, that's Justin and Amanda Fleming back in 1990 with their dad, Mark Fleming, when he was with Annette Craven from Penrith, then how would you know me? If you can't do something the most simplest thing. If you can't sit there and be like, oh, Meredith, their cousin, like their dad's older sister's daughter, the one that looks, you know, like really North Italian with that dark olive skin, and then her other siblings, well, they look like really Northerners or, like that German look in them. Yeah, that's Justin's cousins. Like Jeff Williams, and his dad's side, or Fiona, or Nathan, or Meredith, or Joe and Hillier. So if you can't sit there and say, oh, Justin's cousin Christy Saruni, his dad's sister Linda's daughter that he's really close to, that Lebanese side on his father's side. So if you can't sit there and pinpoint and go, oh yeah, that's Justin's father's side, then I'd like to know how you know me. Because anyone who knows me actually knows that. I mean, if you knew me, then you would know that. If you don't know that most simplest thing, then you actually don't know me, and I want to see you charged criminally and in court. Because anyone who knows me knows how close I am to Christy Saruni. She's my favourite cousin. Not Christy Childs. This is getting insane. People that stalk my social media know Christy Childs. It's like, not Christy Childs. Christy Childs is the deadbeat scrubber on mum's side. Yeah, all the photos on social media, predominantly, you're going to see will be my cousin Joe and Hillier and myself, or my cousin Christy Saruni and myself. Christy Saruni. So, I go down to Yarramble to visit them. They moved from Parramatta in 2015. Like, you don't know the simplest things about me, to where I'm born, to what type of property we had, because people look at my birth certificate and think I'm from that Houso low socioeconomic area of Dunsmore Street. But what you don't realise is that we owned all that land that you now live on. Big difference. You see, how you've just grown up in the last 30 years, because houses were built there after we sold the land. It wasn't like that once. We owned acres of land on Dunsmore Street. We had a big house, swimming pool, like round yards, landscape gardens, horse stables. So did the people next door to us. So did the people across the road. So did the people on the other side of us. They all did, until the government needed somewhere to put you poor people. And that was the best spot. So they brought up everyone's land. Everyone who I knew from the area moved on, because their land was brought up. And everything was demolished down flat, and in its place was low socioeconomic housing for you people, for you poor people to live in. But that land was originally owned by my parents, what you poor people now live on. Wasn't like that when I grew up there. You deadbeat pieces of shit.